Hello, how are you? I'm Kendra Perry from Kendra Perry Nutrition. And if this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, what I do is I'm a functional nutrition practitioner and I help women balance hormones and heal their digestion so they can get back outside and back to the activities that make them feel alive. So I help active women, and that's something I missed there. But yeah, I tend to work with active women, outdoor enthusiasts who are struggling with, really unbalanced hormones. They're struggling monthly or they're struggling throughout the month. They feel totally crazy. They're bloated. They have all these digestive issues as well. And that's really preventing them from living their purpose, from getting outside in the mountains or on the beach or on the trails, whatever it is that drives their passion in the outdoors. And that's a lot like me. I'm a very passionate outdoor enthusiast. So I really like to help women really, really get back to that part of themselves. So today's video is all about coffee enemas. So we're going to talk about putting coffee up your butt. Yeah, totally awesome. And by the end of this video, you're going to know 3 benefits of coffee enemas, and you're also going to learn how coffee enemas can actually benefit your hormones. And then I'm going to tell you how to put coffee up your butt if you're one of those crazy people who wants to go ahead and do that. So I know it sounds crazy when I recommend these to my clients. A lot of them are scared and they're probably wondering, why did I hire this girl? But usually once they do them a few times, they really like them. They experience benefits immediately and then they learn to love them. So who knew? People love putting coffee up their butts. It's totally true. Okay. All right. So the first benefit, and so let's just talk about like what's happening when you're doing a coffee enema. Okay, so basically what happens is when the coffee is in the colon, there's actually chemicals within the coffee, and once they're in the colon, they go straight into the hepatic portal system. So straight into that capillary system that connects the colon to the liver. So they go into that system, they head to the liver, and they basically cause the liver and the gallbladder to contract and dump their toxins. And then the liver dumps its toxins, it goes into the colon, and it's eliminated outside of the bowel. Okay, so it's this really amazing mechanical detox of the liver. Okay, and it's incredibly effective. I've recommended these in thousands of people, and most people get really good results. And it's especially helpful if you're struggling with fatigue, if you're struggling with any digestive issues, and especially if you're struggling with skin issues. I find coffee enemas seem to have a really fantastic benefit to the skin, especially people struggling with acne. Okay, so that's the number one benefit is that it improves detoxification. So a really effective detox method. And you can actually, so Dr. Lawrence Wilson, he's an expert in the field of hair mineral analysis and detoxing. And he has been working with clients, like tens of thousands of clients, probably over the past 30, 40 years. And he's a huge advocate for them. He's written extensively about them. And he says that you can do up to 4 a day. I don't know who has time to stick coffee up their butt 4 times a day, but apparently it's totally safe to do 4 of those a day. So, if you want to do them daily, that's awesome. You can't really overdo it. Okay. So, so number 1 is detoxification. The second one is it actually helps improve digestion. And if you're one of my followers, if you like to hear my information, there's a good chance you are struggling with digestion, because that's one of my specialties. So what happens is the coffee enema actually helps improve bile flow, and that bile has a really nice cleansing effect on the colon. It also helps alkalize, makes the colon more alkaline. I'm totally tongue twisty today. But yeah, so it can really help clean the colon walls. Definitely a lot of people that I work with who are doing regular coffee enemas, when they go to their gastroenterologist and do things like colonoscopy, they get a really good review. They're like, wow, your colon is so clean. So they really help clean out the colon. And another great thing about increasing bile flow, so bile, which is made in the liver, but it's stored in the gallbladder, your body uses it to break down fat. So it can also really help you digest fat better. And fat has a lot of really beneficial nutrients, vitamin A, E, K, D, so all the fat-soluble vitamins. So you definitely want to, hi Melanie, I'm so excited you're here to learn about putting coffee up your butt. Anyways, so that bile, another really awesome thing that it does is it actually helps you detoxify. So when your body has a toxin, so toxins, they need to be sort of either connected to something else or they need to be changed before they can be eliminated outside the body. Your body can't just look at a toxin and move it out. It has to kind of manage it first. So what it can do is it can, thank you. What it can do is it can take that toxin and it can bind it to the bile, and that actually helps the body move that toxin out of the body. So that's another way that coffee enemas are really, really great. Yeah, I know you want coffee in your bomb, Mel. Anyways, Mel's one of my best friends and we like to laugh about lots of funny things, but get it up in there. Yeah. So anyways, where am I? You're totally distracting me. Okay, so another thing that your body does with bile is it binds it to hormones. So your body makes hormones and they carry a message, but once that message is outdated, we don't want them still circulating around the body because it can lead to a lot of hormone imbalance, right? So we need to move those hormones out of the body and eliminate them. And the liver is huge for that, okay? So what the liver does is it creates the bile and then will bind the hormones to the bile to bring it out of the body. So that's how we keep a really stable, healthy hormone balance. The issue is that if we don't make bile well, and a lot of us don't, a lot of those hormones can sort of like recirculate around the body. So this is really big with estrogen dominance, okay? And this is the hormone imbalance I see in probably 80% of the people I test. So it's the most common hormone imbalance I see in women over 30. So basically either women have too much estrogen or their progesterone is too low and they have this sort of dominance of estrogen. So not having enough bile or having like a bile deficiency can actually lead to estrogen recirculating around the body and lead to those really nasty estrogen dominant symptoms. So those are going to be things like, the inability to lose weight, like you just can't shed pounds. No matter what you do, you're exercising, you're eating well, but you got that spare tire, okay? Also, all your premenstrual syndrome symptoms are usually caused by estrogen dominance, so cramping, bloating, insomnia in the week before your period, irritability, acne, that sort of thing, that is typically estrogen dominant related. So coffee enemas can actually help increase your bile levels and then move those hormones out of the body. And that's kind of, I kind of combined number 2 and number 3, because that the third one is that it can help balance your hormones. And that's just in the way that it helps us clear hormones effectively from the body. So yeah, they're really effective in that sense. Good for detoxifying, good for improving digestion and cleaning out the colon, and also good for hormones. So those are the 3. And a lot of people are afraid to do them because a lot of women I work with, especially people who, are struggling with hormone issues, like they don't tolerate coffee very well. If they drink coffee, they totally get, anxious and gut rot and crazy. Like, I'm totally that way. When I drink coffee, I feel totally crazy and I have a panic attack in a lot of the time. But that doesn't stop me from doing it once a month and then totally regretting my choice. But anyways, so it doesn't really affect you the same as when you have a cup of coffee. So you can do a coffee enema even if you are someone who reacts poorly to caffeine. Most people don't get that same wired effect from it. For some people, there's been maybe like a really small percentage of women that I work with who do get a bit wired from it, like just maybe a bit of like an energy boost. Maybe wired's not the right word. So those women just always make sure to do their coffee enemas in the morning, okay? It's actually really funny that I'm talking about this topic. I meant to mention this in the beginning. So I actually did a blog post on a website called The Love Vitamin. I don't know, a long time ago. Maybe it was like 6 years ago. Probably one of the first blog posts I ever did when I still had my crazy, happy, healthy blog. And I did it on coffee enemas. Like what a funny topic to choose for your first blog post ever. But It was really funny. It was actually, and it was a bit of a controversial article. It wasn't really well researched on my part. It was when I was first new and I used to just like say anything. But anyways, Tracy, who does the Love Vitamin, actually got in touch with me yesterday. We had a phone conversation because she's interested in doing the functional diagnostic nutrition course, and we were just laughing. So I was like, "Oh, do you remember that blog post I did?" And then she sent me over the post, and of course the photo. The like featured photo with it is like her with her pants down in the grass. And I was just like, wow, I'll like just be forever known on the internet as the coffee butt girl. And obviously doing this video is not really helping that situation. Anyways, that's totally a side note. But so I'm going to just talk quickly about just doing like how to do a coffee enema. And so it's actually pretty simple. I always recommend that you go to Amazon and you get a stainless steel enema kit. You can get plastic ones at the drugstore, but I don't like putting that in. I don't think it's a good idea to put the warm coffee into the plastic. So if you go to Amazon, usually for about 20 or 30 bucks, you can get a stainless steel enema kit with silicone grade tubing or like medical grade tubing. Okay, so that's your best option. But basically you get a really good type of coffee. I recommend a dark roast. Your butt really likes a nice dark roast. But actually it actually like it has more of that chemical activity in the dark roast. So the dark roast you get more benefits from. So it's not just that your butt likes dark roast. Anyways, yeah, you brew up a dark roast. You know, you probably, if it's your first time, you want to start with like 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground coffee beans. Put it in about 4 or 5 cups of water and then like boil it and simmer it on the stove for about 10 minutes. And then once you're done with that, you can put it through like a coffee filter. I have a little French press that I use. You can put it through a French press and you just want to filter out those coffee grains. And then you just want to add in some filtered or distilled water, enough to kind of bring it to like a room temperature. You don't want to, obviously you don't want to put hot coffee up your butt, right? Huge mistake, rookie mistake. Don't do that. It's not good. Mel, oh my God, just distracting me today. So you know, room temperature, you want to be able to put your, put your hand in it and have it not burn your hand. Then you go into your bathroom, you're probably going to light some candles and make it super romantic in there for you. Make it like a nice atmosphere, get a book. And then put a towel down on the floor, and you want to lie down on the floor and you want to raise your hips. That'll help you retain the enema. You can just hang out and you can read your book, or, it's actually a nice time to meditate. So you can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can relax, focus on your breathing, do a bit of deep breathing, and, also detoxify at the same time. So then you would basically, make sure you lube up that tip. Coconut oil works really well. And you can insert it and then you let the coffee drain into your colon. And then you're going to want to try to retain it for 10 to 15 minutes. Although when you first start, that might not be possible. It can take a while to sort of build up to being able to hold it in. And that's totally fine. Even if you can only hold it in for a few minutes, you are still getting some benefit. You're just not getting the full benefit, but that's totally fine. And then at some point you're going to be like, yeah, time to release. And then you're going to just, hop on the toilet seat and release it. And it's not uncommon if the first few times you do it that it feels pretty hot and burny. That just means that you have a lot of toxins in your body. So, if you feel like some burning the first time you eliminate a coffee enema, it's actually an indication that you should probably keep doing coffee enemas, because it means that you're highly toxic. So yeah, so that's basically how you would do it. I really believe that doing regular coffee enemas might be one of the most important things for people staying healthy in the modern world. Our environment is completely toxic. It is full of chemicals. There are thousands and thousands of chemicals being added into our environment every year. All of us have heavy metals in us. It's not a question of do you have heavy metals? It's a question of how many do you have? Heavy metals interfere with your mitochondria. They interfere with your cell function, and they're gonna fuck up your hormones. It's my live feed. I can swear. And that's, you know, and so we're all very toxic in these things. They lead to a lot of fatigue, and coffee enemas are really effective at moving metals out of the body, and moving toxins out of the body. So I think they're incredibly important. I think we can all implement them, you know, a few times a week and get great benefits from them. But if you're someone who is highly toxic, or you have a lot of hormone imbalance, especially estrogen dominant, so if you have fibroids or endometriosis, or you get really bad PMS, doing regular coffee enemas, it's going to be incredibly helpful. They're awesome for hormones, and I implement them in all my clients. So hopefully that doesn't turn you off from working with me. You're like, I'm never going to work with you ever. Fair enough. It's definitely scary, but they're really beneficial, and most people do learn to love them. So definitely a huge recommendation. So if you like this video, definitely leave a comment, ask me a question, you know, give me a like, kind of helps get this information out there. You can head over to my website. I just wrote an article on this, kendraperry.net/blog. I wrote about 5 benefits. So in the article, you're going to learn two additional video or benefits to coffee enemas. Thanks, Mel. I love ya. So yeah, and if you're someone who's struggling with hormone imbalance, you can head over to my website and you can get my free 3-part hormone training series. Basically, I'm going to teach you all about female hormone imbalance. I'm going to tell you about the major causes of hormone imbalance and what the things you can do to start fixing that now. Because honestly, when your hormones don't work, you can feel like they're totally against you and they're just ruining your life, and that's no fun. But if you can get your hormones in check and working for you, then you're going to feel beautiful, you're going to feel sexy, you're going to feel balanced. You're not going to have to stop going to work once a month because of your period, right? We all want balanced hormones, very important for all women of any age. So head over to my website, kendraperry.net, and you can get my 3-part hormone training. And also, if you want to read my more extended version of the coffee enema article, you can head over to my blog on kendraperry.net. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Make sure to leave me a comment or like it, and I will be coming to you again probably next week around the same time for another live video. Okay, I hope you guys have a fantastic Thursday and a fantastic weekend. Bye.